Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show, live show, I should say. Gonna let some people jump in here before we get into picks, but I do want to mention a couple of things off bat as we look at this WNBA slate for tonight. We got 5 games, as we know, 2 games left on the slate for most of these teams, actually every one of these teams. So definitely got to make sure that you know who needs to play for what. That is going to come into play most importantly in this Phoenix game with with the Sparks. They don't need it. They're playing a bad team. They've got some older players. So I'm a little bit nervous because I also see the books giving us some pretty good numbers, like too good to be true numbers that are coming in on players like Diana Taurasi and others. So that is something to keep in mind. Let me bring up real quick the standings while people jump in here, so at least we're all aware of what we're talking about here. So this is what the standings look like right now. And I would say the things to keep in mind here, obviously, the Lynx need to beat the Sun. They play tonight. If the Lynx do win, they at least put themselves in position to maybe get the 1 seed over the Liberty here. Not positive how that's going to go. If the Liberty obviously beat the Mystics, who they should beat, but we'll see, because I also don't know that that's necessarily going to be the case like easily. 10 points is a lot, so keep that in mind. But most importantly is probably that 8, 9, 10 more than anything. Washington, Chicago, Atlanta, and the Mystics are taking on the Liberty, but Chicago and Atlanta are playing each other. So we got to keep that in mind. And then, like I said, the Mercury are not playing for anything. I think there's a completely outside chance that they win out and the Fever lose out. They could get that 6 seed. So I'm leaning towards taking some of these overs for the Mercury players, because I do think next game will be the one that they probably don't have to care about if the Fever win on Thursday. So we'll see about that one. But this is important. You got to keep this in mind for tonight before you just start banking on players because of the fact that we don't know if they're going to get the minutes. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. As always, if you guys do have a bet that you want to throw out there, definitely get in on that in the comments. I'll go ahead and start talking about what we're going to be looking at next. I want to hear what you guys want to talk about. But in the up next tab, I'm putting up right now a couple players. Let me pull up my notes, make sure that I'm telling you the right players I want to look at. But I am looking at, all right, we got Tina Charles, Alyssa Thomas, and DT, Diana Taurasi. Want to look at those. Also want to look at Nneka Ogwumike and Stephanie Dolson. So those are the ones that I'm trying to look at real quick. I'm going to bring up Taurasi here. So I want to start with her. She's a really good example of what I'm talking about from that Phoenix game. And wondering if she's going to get the minutes, because she's got the prop lines are juicy and they're there for the taking in a way that makes me think they're trying to cheat. They're trying to trick us at the books here. We're going to look at Tina Charles on the Dream, and we are going to look at Alyssa Thomas. That is a bet that I'm probably about to make, to be honest with you, is Alyssa Thomas. That's how much I like that one. And then I'm going to throw Nneka and Stephanie Dolson on here as well. So rather than spell Gumake, I'm just putting Nneka down. And then last one I just said was Stephanie Dolson. All right, so that's going to be on the up next. But as soon as you guys jump in and let me know who you want to look at, we're going to get it. What's good, Free Sauce? Always good to have you in here, bro. My guy has his channel in the Discord as well. So if you need that, jump in the Discord. Link is in the description of the video. Really good picks lately, especially from the W from our boy Free Sauce. We got Ryan wants to talk about Hamby. All right, we'll take a look at that. And then Bree Jones, Courtney Williams, and stuff like that. Angie wants to know which players I think will be resting tonight. So the key here is going to be if it's the Mercury players. Those are the ones that I'm really looking at, because of the fact that they don't really need this game, to be honest with you. They're pretty much locked into the 7 seed, barring some like really unforeseen stuff happening with the Fever. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen real quick, and then we can look at some of this stuff. I'll look at the Phoenix players with you too real quick, since the question came up about which ones we should be looking at in terms of not playing. So come back to me. Damn, hold on. Let me pull up this share screen. Don't know why that stopped sharing. Nope, not this one. This one. All right. Bring that to the stage. Oh, that's why. My bad. I was in the wrong one. All right. We're good here. Come on, man. Where did it go? All right. We're good. My bad. Struggles are good. All right. So the first thing I'm looking at here is the Mercury stuff. So I'm going to just use this to talk about it, because this is, like I said, the best example of what I'm talking about for needing to know which players that we might not be getting. So keep in mind the tools I'm using here. I got Props Madness up. I got Outlier.bet up. And I've got props.cash up as well. And I'll show you kind of how I'm using those differently as we go through this. But any questions on that too, let me know. Let me start putting up some of the ones you guys have in here so I don't forget them too. We know how to do that. And I'll bring up the up next. So we got Taurasi, Charles, Thomas being Alyssa. We got Bree Jones. I'll put Bree Jones because I know Jonquel is going to come up. Well, the Joneses are probably both going to come up. I'll put JJ for Jonquel. And then a couple other looks. Yeah, Sheena and Charles were for sure going over. Freesauce looking at Mabry. Yeah, you're popping off, bro. I miss the streams too. Damn, I miss NBA. Let's see. We got Courtney Williams. You like the over on Courtney Williams? This 10.5 now, which is interesting. I had was looking at that at 11.5 and was like, that's kind of leading me to go under. I'll put C Will in here. We'll put Mabry in here as well. And leave it at that for now. But yeah, if you I'm gonna go back through the comments. If anybody has any questions on that, wants to put another bet in for us to look at, let me know. But I got these up for right now. As far as the promise of looking at this Mercury game real quick. So I'm going to start with DT because I think it's really interesting. What we're talking about here with Diana Taurasi is the fact that we don't have Kalia Copper in. We know that she's out, right? So that's going to mean a lot more. There's only been a couple games without Kalea. I'm taking her off here on Props Madness and seeing there's 2 games. She went off versus the Sky in 29 minutes and didn't do much in a 19-point loss to the Sun. That was kind of bad as well, right? So the thing here, though, is if you look at the head-to-head numbers, and we'll take out Copper, the head-to-head numbers, she crushes this team, and they're terrible above the break. And you can see against everything, really, their guard defense is pitiful. They do give up the highest 3-point percentage in the league. We know that as well. I'm going to bring up the WNBA stats page just because that's helpful. And I know I'll need to be using that. But the opponent 3-point percentage is terrible. They are giving up the 4th most threes made above the break here. You can see they're pretty much bad everywhere, though, right? So this is really just a matter of, do you think she's going to play? I would say these lines are kind of low. Here's the one that's really telling me they don't think she's going to play. They're putting her assist prop at 3.5. Now, granted, it is a number that on the season, she's at 3.4, so hasn't hit it that much. But, excuse me, I will say what matters here is that Brittany Griner missed a ton of games in the season, and that's a big reason why she was going under on the assists so often. So if you put with Brittany Griner in here on the season now, we're talking about she's played 22 games. Let me get them all. Yeah, she's played 24 games, gone over 19 times when she has Brittany Griner out there, averaging the 4.4 that you need. And the median number, well, that's on Outlier. I have that up as well. Here's Outlier looking at Taurasi over 3.5 assists. I'm using this one now to look at her alt stuff as well. So how many times has she gone over 4.5 if we want to play that ladder? So on the season, and let's put Griner in here as well, because that's what I'm saying is super crucial. Games with player, putting Brittany Griner in, apply that. That's a lot. That's a lot of hitting 5 too, right? So if we put the number at 4.5, she's still hit that number 10 of 24 times. Not quite enough for the plus 112. That number isn't good enough with that kind of hit rate, to be honest. But the 4, even at minus 155, is not a number I'm scared of playing if she's getting the minutes. So I guess I'm saying I am scared of playing that. She has gone over this, like I said, 19 of 24 times and got 5 pretty often as well, 10 out of those 24. So the 4 isn't a number that scares me. I can't find anything telling me that that we're going to get full set of minutes for her, Griner, whatever is going on. I think tonight is the night. Like I said, what I'm going to play. So why would she play? I don't know that they can't make the 6 seed, right? I forgot what the tiebreaker is. I should have looked that up. But if you're looking at the standings, once again, pull those up over here. They're 2 back of the Fever. They both have 2 to play. They win out. The Fever lose out, and they have a shot at it. If we look at the games that this squad has left for the Fever to see if it's realistic that they're going to lose. My bad. Where's schedule at? I want to give me schedule. Is it under profile? No, I'll just look at schedule. The games left for the Fever on Thursday, they are going to be playing the Mystics. Winnable game, but a team that they still need to win that game against. So if they lose, they only have 1 game left. That's right. So if they beat the Mystics, then the Fever are in at 6, and the Mystics are out. They're at 7. Right. So the Fever are a team that have played 39 games. They have 1 left. If the Mercury win tonight, they do have a shot at potentially overtaking the Fever. So that's something to consider for why I think they can still play tonight. But I'm glad you brought up the question above the clouds, because that's what we want to know. Why would they play DT? That would be my reasoning. I'm going to put that in my leans for now, just so everybody knows all the leans are going to be rolling along the bottom here. And they are going to be pinned. The bets I actually make are going to be pinned in the YouTube comment, or at least all these leans are, so you can get them. I'll show them to you at the end. But a couple other things to tell you real quick. So I'm putting DT over 3.5 assists, even at the minus 150. It's a really solid number, minus 155, excuse me, and that's on 365. I'm putting 1 unit on that right now as far as the lean goes. But because once again, there's still the possibility that they don't play her in a ton of minutes tonight, maybe like 26 to 30 in that range, as opposed to like 35, which would make me feel really good about this over. So with that amount of time under her belt, it's still a 1 unit play, just a little bankroll builder if you like it. So let's keep moving through a couple other things. So let me put my notes down here. One thing I did want to tell you too, just in case anybody's new and doesn't know, like jump in the comments, leave a bet. But I also wanted to tell you that if you're going into the free Discord right now and you're not seeing my picks up, it's because they are up now on WAP.com. So you do need to go there to get the VIP package or one of the 3 packages there to get that stuff. But the first 2 months are going to be free to the next 20 people that sign up. So use code SEPT24. I'll put that up in the banners as well. SEPT24 is what you need to use to get 25% off the first 2 months. And that's going to be scrolling on the bottom line as well. So if you forget what that is, SEPT24, it's the month. And then that's 24 for the year. We know that. All right. I'm putting that up real quick. I should have had that up. That's my bad. And then we'll get into a few more of these. Using code SEPT24. All right. That's scrolling on the bottom line. If you forget, that's going to be where all the picks are at, et cetera, et cetera. All right. We're looking at a couple other things. I'll put some more up. We got Backwood TV asking about a couple of things too. Didn't make it to aces yet. I'm not necessarily going right in order of these games, but I am going to stick with this Mercury game just for 1 minute. Yikes. Yeah. I think if you don't have Bet365, minus 168, we're getting into the territory of not worth it for sure. Minus 155 is probably the only way that I would play that DT bet. Another problem with giving it out is not everybody's going to have those books. Next up, though, that would be the look for Taurasi. The threes is a look as well for her, by the way. I'll just bring that up real quick because it's really only based on playing this team head to head, right? This season, she's got 7 made and 5 made. That's a lot. I get that. This team is terrible above the break. That was with Kalia Copper too. So it's not like, Kalia wasn't out and whatever, right? She's out tonight. So there should be a few more shots for DT going up. The 3 is at over 2.5 is a plus money number. So I'm considering that as well for her. It's really, once again, just based on the putrid defense for this Sparks squad. So keep that in mind. I'm actually going to at least add that to the lean for DT, is that is would be a part of it as well. Maybe it's like a 2+ threes and like 3+ assists kind of thing. That's if that juices us up. Let's get over 2.5 3 p.m. in there, so you guys know that, because that's plus 135. So that would be a play as well. That's gonna be on the leans, all on the bottom line. Let's keep it rolling. We got I think Tina Charles needs to come up next, because I don't have anything else pressing from that Mercury game for right now. So if we look at that dream game where we know there's gonna be 2 teams for sure going at it, right? Put in Tina real quick. So Tina Charles. This is going to be, let me look at my notes real quick so I can just point us in the right direction right away. Since the break, this is a lot of what I'm interested in with Tina Charles. So I'm actually going to go to Prop Madness so I can specifically call out how many games I want to look back with her. So if I look at the dream and I go to Tina, this is a high number, right? On the season, 15 points a game. This is at 17.5. Rebounds at 9.5 rather on the season. And she needs to get 11 to go over this number as well. Now, what she has going for her is she's playing against the Sky, who no longer have Cardoso. They no longer have, Cardoso, even if she plays, she's still a game time decision. Even if she plays, like, you kind of need your shoulders to jump up and get rebounds. I'm not really sure how she's supposed to do that. Let me bring back the other one, my bad. So you got to keep that in mind for Tina. Is that, like, Cardoso is probably not going to be out there. I don't think even if she is out there, Cardoso, she's going to be effective. So Tina's still a good play. There's no Angel Reese. This is a team that even when those 2 were in there was still giving up a ton of points in the paint. If we go to filter this by opponents' points in the paint rank, right? Let's go to the bottom 4 or so from 9 to 12. you can see right here the Sky are already allowing the 9th most points in the paint. So it's not like Cardoso and Angel Reese were like big defensively. They were just getting a ton of boards, and Cardoso was beasting people on the offensive boards, especially both of them. But for Tina going up against those types of teams, let me take out Ryan Howard. For her going up against the teams that allowed that many points in the paint on the season, is this giving me the whole season? Let me see here. 50% hit rate at 11. 11's still high. Now, she did do it once against the Sky right here and failed to do it against the Sky over here, although she had 22. I would be going with the points and rebounds for her. And there's a couple of things that I'm looking at for Tina Charles. Since the break, right? So let me take this out and just show you the last. She's played 13 games since we've come back from the Olympic break. In those 13 games, this hit rate of 27.5 PR is at 8 for 13, right? Now, a couple of these teams, let's put this down to like top 4 teams in terms of paint defense. So I can see how many teams that have been really good at defending the paint that she's been doing that at. 4, if you look at the top 4, so not quite as good versus the top 4 in this last game, this is her last 12 overall, right? Even before the break. So I'm not even really worried about this. If I'm looking at basically, so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4 games against teams that are in the top 4 in terms of limiting points in the paint. And she still went over in 2 of those. If you do this the opposite way, and you look at the teams that are in the bottom 4 since the All-Star break, right? She's over in 3 of those 4, under versus the Storm here, who, not very good at limiting points in the paint, but a much better defense than the Chicago Sky. That's for damn sure. That's not even a question. So I like that over 3 and 4, averaging 31 points per game. If we go, I did not mean to do that. If we go back to average, oh, come on. I got to go all the way up to, come on, Doc. Let's see if it resets. All right, thank you. So, no. Can I mess with this number? Oh, bro, that's mad annoying. My bad. I got to go all the way back up to the 17.5 number. Is that really how I have to do this? Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm refreshing this. I'm not doing that. That's insane. All right, going back to Tina to finish the point here. The other thing that I like about her stuff here is everything has gone up in these last 13 games that she's played since the break, right? If we look at her numbers on the season, 30 minutes a game, 15 points per game, 13.7 field goal attempts, like not even 14 shots that she's taking. And in terms of the rebounds, she's at 9.5, excuse me. That's the season numbers. If you look at the numbers in the last 13 games, over in the 8 of 13, why does this say 6 of 13? What am I doing, bro? How am I messing this up so bad? This is since the break. She's averaging 17.6. She's gone. Oh, this is because it's just the points. My apologies. I'm looking at the PR. This is what I like more than anything, right? So now you get to the PR in these 13 games, 34 minutes a game. So that's up 4, almost 5 minutes from her season average. 17.6 points. That's up a couple points. 16 field goal attempts. That's up almost 3 field goal attempts per game since the break. So everything's gone up. This is a must win for the Dream. I still think the PR is a good number based on recent stats for her. So I am going to put that in the leans as well for Tina Charles over 27.5 PR. I don't really want to have to mess with one of them. I like that the rebounds came down to 10.5. That helps me get the PR at just 27.5. So we're taking Charles over 27.5 PR. And that gets us minus 118 on DK. Let me make sure that's the best price. That would be for 1 unit as well. Once again, these are the leans. And I'm going to be looking at these before right when we get off to make sure that I've got the best number I want to play and that I'm not missing anything real quick. So Tina Charles is in there for her PR. That's how I would play that. Alicia Gray, I really like as well. But when you play a season-long number, you can't just look at this matchup and go 16.5. You have to look at what she's done in general and what you project her volume to be. So the thing that I want to show here is when you have Ryan Howard, and let me put this up over here. When you have Ryan Howard in the game, it's a big deal in how it impacts Alicia Gray. So I'm looking at Alicia real quick, just because this was one of my other considerations for an over, but it's just much too high. It's really the problem. I do think she's going to get a good amount of free throws in this game. So, take that with a grain of salt, do what you want with it. Actually, the assists have gone up since Ryan Howard's been back, and the points have gone down. This is really interesting. So points, 16.5. If we look at her with Ryan Howard on the season, because Ryan missed a bunch of games and she chucks shots, as we all know. So she's down here. If we look at her with Ryan Howard on this last 10 on the season, looking at just the points, she's averaging 15.3 over in just 13 of 28. That's with Ryan Howard. And then you look at her without Ryan Howard. Got to go all the way down to get Ryan again. X this out. Now you look at her without, over in 7 of 10, averaging 17 a game. Big thing that stands out is the shot attempts. Without Ryan, they're at 13.6. With Ryan, they're at about 11, I believe. I'll do it one more time. Games with Ryan. I wish it was on the bottom. So with Ryan, the field goal attempts went from 16 to 12.8. That's a huge drop, right? 16 shot attempts down to less than 13 shot attempts. That's the difference when Ryan Howard is in there. She just takes a ton of those shots from our girl. My bad. I have the bottom line scrolling again so you guys can see what's up. Thanks, JK. I missed that. You're right. Let me put Jackie and Chelsea in here for Backwood TV too, because I want to make sure that I don't forget that. And I will. We got Mabry in here, and we got Jackie and Chelsea assists. I want to make sure we don't miss those. All right. That's what's coming up next. I'm going to leave this off for a bit because it doesn't cover too much of the screen. It's fine. All right. So that's my thing with Alicia is I actually lean to the under, even though this is a must-win game. This is not where the Sky are going to be weakest. She'll probably get some Kennedy Carter on her. So it's a little bit actually even more of a Ryan Howard play for me. If you're going over, Alicia is a lean that I have towards the under, but let's keep it moving and I'll update the banner here. We got Diana that we went over. We went over Tina Charles, did some of that. Alicia Gray, she's an under lean for me. The assist actually though was what I actually started to look at. This is probably one of those like demon lines. Yeah. So yeah, the line is not 1.5. The line is 3.5 for plus money if you want that on FanDuel. That's the only place to get it, and that's the only thing they're offering for Alicia Gray. This is kind of annoying, but if you look at her with Ryan Howard, once again, you got to look at this stuff. Ryan just is such a usage monster that like you have to know how players do when she's on the floor versus when she's not. So this season, 3 of the games that she's played. This is the last 10 on the season. And obviously, if you take out these bad numbers at the beginning, she's not that bad. So she's 6. If we take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, she's 6 of 20 that she's gotten this. But at plus 172, yes, this is a team that gives up a ton of assists, the 3rd most in the league, actually, to guards specifically. What's she done head-to-head? Head-to-head versus the squad this season, over in just one of these games. That was it was definitely without Ryan in July. So, I mean, I would be going over for Alicia Gray on the assist. I would not be going around the points. I got to imagine you got that for a little bit less, right? Because it's a 19.5 point prop. If you got that at 15, bro, that is a snipe for sure with the CLV. That's a really good look if you got it for Ryan there. But I agree. Ryan is an over before an under on that one. Let me get to AT so I can show you what I'm seeing here. This is kind of wild, man. I think I still have her up. Yeah. So Alyssa Thomas versus like... crazy. If you look at her versus this team, and I have under right now, I should have over. I'd be looking at her PRA, but just start with the points. This is 9 games in a row versus the Minnesota Lynx. Granted, like we can't just like use this and run with it. We've got the playoffs right here, right? Or no, this is not the playoffs. Excuse me. This is the beginning of last season. So you've got the beginning of last season right here, and then this season right here. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3 games. This is the playoffs, right? Yeah, I'm tripping. So this was the playoffs. And then over here, we had the regular season. But this is 9 games in a row since last season that she's just crushed this team. And last year, she was a usage monster, right? She took a ton more shots. Let's look at Alyssa Thomas real quick on points prop.cash too, because this is where I like to go to see the total stats, and they break everything really, really nicely right in front of you. So if we look at head-to-head, this is 12 games in a row. I'm sorry. She's gone over this in 12 straight games versus this squad, dating back to 2 seasons ago. But what I want to keep in mind is that, like, in 2023, for example, if we just go to 2023, why can't They're not giving me 23. Okay. They didn't do that they did it for the NBA, but they didn't do it for the W. But basically, let's go to over here. So Alyssa Thomas points versus this squad. Look at the amount of shots that she was taking, right? This season, 14 shots and 10 shots. Actually, still a lot more than she takes on the season as a whole. But last year, this is a little misleading because she hasn't even taken 15 shots once this season. And she took 15 at least in all these games last year versus the Link, except for this one. That said, comparatively speaking, when you talk about the amount of shots Alyssa Thomas is taking this season versus the amount that she took last season, and you compare the percentage increase of the amount of shots she takes, it's very high still, right? What I mean by that is last year let's say she averaged roughly 14, 15 shots. She's still taking hella more shots against the Lynx, right? 20, 18, 17, 16. So that's still more than her average. This year, 14 and 10 means she's taken 12 shots per game in 2 games against this squad. How many do you think she's averaging on the season in terms of her field goal attempts? I will tell you it is a lot less. It is 8. 8 shot attempts on the season for Alyssa Thomas, which you can see right here. 8.1 that she's averaging right here, right? So she still increased her shot attempts by nearly 5, actually more than 5, because against this squad this season, she's got, let's get back to head-to-head, excuse me. This season, she's taken 14 and 10, so she's at 12. Yeah, my bad. She's at 12. That's an increase of 4 shots per game. She's played every minute this season, except for 1.4 minutes that she missed against them in an OT game in May this year. In the other game, she played all 40 minutes against this team as they won by 5. Right. So Alyssa Thomas is a monster against this Minnesota team. And if you're wondering why that is, my theory that I put together using the stats that I have at my disposal, go into this game right here, is when you look at how the defense for the Lynx shapes up. So where are they weakest? This is one of the best tools on here on Props Madness. You got the season shot chart and the opponent's defense and where they're best. So the Lynx, one of the best 3-point defenses in the league. They actually have the best 3-point defense by percentage. Teams shoot the lowest 3-point percentage against this squad. They get up a decent amount of threes, but they don't make them because they're suffocating on the wing. Down low, you can get a bit more against them, right? But 6th right next to the basket. So right as soon as you get into the spots where Alyssa Thomas is most dangerous, that's where the players score, right? Girls like Dejanay Carrington and Marina Mabry, if they're trying to take shots from the outside, they're going to have some trouble. Look at where AT shoots 3/4 of her shots. She shoots 95% of her shots inside of the painted area, right? This is a forward who's also playing like point forward, like a Draymond style player. So 9.5 at even money in a game that they have to win. Like I have to take it. Now I do like the PRA a ton because of a couple of things. One, the shots still, they're at 8 a game. Now Marina Mabry's there. If Marina Mabry is going to eat into her shots, into any of her stats, it's usually the points. What's really interesting, going back to props.cash real quick, is if you look at 2024 with Mabry, she's actually still taking like 8 field goal attempts, right? She's barely taking fewer shots. So it's the same amount of shots with Mabry. It's the rebounds that go down for some reason when she's in there with Marina Mabry. On the season, she's at 7.3 with Mabry. Without Mabry, she's at 8.5. So that's really weird. But I'm still not concerned because she's gone over the points every time. Let me look at the rebounds. The rebounds she has not in 4 of the last 5 games, including this season against the Lynx. And the dimes she's gotten a good amount of, even though this is a really good assist defense. So she's still average, but if you put them all together, so the points are the most impressive thing because the field goals go up and all that. I think at plus money, that's got to be the first place you look is over 9.5 for plus 104. Dying a little bit. All right, so I've got to put her in the leans for the points. That's where I look at for that. Was interested to see if anybody likes that, but it was on a 9-pick parlay. That's hilarious. We were talking about the Ryan bet earlier. So let me put that up real quick on the leans right here for AT. Looking at her, I mean, that's smart sports betting. It's plus EV. I don't know what else to say about it. Even if it's like, I don't like taking Alyssa Thomas points. Alyssa Thomas isn't focused on scoring. 4 more shots per game I can't get away from. All right, so we got AT. I'll just put Thomas in here. Thomas over 9.5 points, and that is plus 104 on FD, and I'm taking that for a unit. I can't get away from that. All right, saving that. going to be going for another 30 minutes or so. Let me give the Discord a heads up. Thomas over. All right. Keeping it moving. The next, take her off. We can look at NECA. I think there was a couple requests for some stuff that I want to make sure we get to, though, first. Let's start with Bree Jones while we're still in this game before I move on to NECA. So Bree Jones, like, I just, honestly, the Jones sisters, I know they're not sisters, Bree and Jonquel, like, I just hate taking their points. I know it's a good matchup. I understand all of that. I hate taking their points. And the reason I hate taking their points is just their volume averages. Like, they're not looking to score often enough for me to like it. You've got the ball in the hands of Sabrina and Stewie. Plus, you've got the ball in the hands now of Lainey Hamilton as well. She's back and playing her normal minutes, about 25 a game. Really good guard forward, sort of half type player, if you will, like wing that can play in versatile is the word I'm looking for. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word versatile. So it's the shot attempts, right? So on the season, 9.7 attempts. All right. She's making 54% of them. So this does get you to about 10 and a half points right there. If one of them is a 3, okay, that gets us to about 12. If she makes 2 free throws, that gets us to about 14 and a half. Her prop is at 13 and a half. This does give us a little bit of an edge because of the number here. In fact, I want to bring up the sheet that I had been using for the NBA that I want to bring back to y'all and use for the W. And I use it for football as well, but it's where the hell is it? My bad. Stand by. It is my prop tool to make sure that I am getting the best juice on, or that I'm not getting screwed in the way that I'm looking at these bets. So pulling this up real quick. This is linked in the free Discord as well if you want it. Some of y'all will probably remember this, but let's put this in here for Alyssa Thomas as soon as it loads. It's taking its sweet time. Let's put AT in here. Let's put the prop at points. No, I'm sorry. What am I looking at right now? Was I looking at that for the points? Yeah, for plus. No, I'm looking at Brianna. Is my on Brianna? Dog, I'm sorry. I'm on Jonquel. All right, Jonquel, minus 104 for her to get over the 13 and a half. And I'm going to put her averages in here and what we project her to play. So 30 minutes a game. I don't see why that would go up. Honestly, if anything, that's going to go down. Look at these minutes in the last 3 for her. 23 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. So that's the other thing is like New York could essentially run away with this game. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. But these minutes in the last like 10 games, man, I know she got foul trouble in a couple of these. And she didn't really need to play much against the Wings because they smacked them. So keep that in mind. Then she played the 23 against Minnesota where they lost. And I know they could have used her. So I don't love where her minutes are at. So that's going to affect the projection of the minutes that she has tonight. But that's key. So the line is 13.5. The under odds are under is minus 119, over is minus 104. Under minus 119, over minus or plus 104, minus 104, excuse me, minus 104. Minutes average is at 30.3 or whatever, 30.2. Prop average on the season for her is at 14.1. Put that in there, 14.1. Okay, so she's at like 0.46 points per minute. Her projected minutes tonight, I think we got to go under 30. That's the thing. This is a game against the Mystics where it's Stephanie Dolson. Stephanie Dolson's going to sit outside on the 3-point line and just chuck away. I was supposed to be looking at Bree Jones first, my bad, but I'm already on to Jonquel. So I'm just showing you Stephanie Dolson real quick. Look at where she spends all her time on offense. 60% of her shots as the center on this team tonight she's going to take 60% of her shots from above the break. Right. And that's what she does. Whatever. I'm not even going to knock her for it. It's what she does. We know that's what she does. That's going to pull Jonquel away from the basket. It also means, do you really need Jonquel that much? So if I put her minutes, and I'll just put them at 28 because I think that's a fair projection. That might even be high. And you look at the edge here, 28 minutes. How is this saying? Minutes average. Okay. So then I have to put in the probability unders here. If we look at the probability under, it's minus 119. So I'm going to pull up my, I use Action Network's little calculator for this. I can pull it up. So I'm putting that up in here to find the implied odds. So the American odds of minus 119 have an implied odd of 54%. So the under is at 54% implied probability, which means this at minus 104 is 50, we'll call it 51% implied probability for the over. So there's no edge either way, right? We need this to be at 10%, positive 10% for me to feel like there's an edge enough to be able to go ahead and play this bet. Either way, I don't have much for her. I know that it's going to be a little bit easier down low for her. If we look at her boards, 8.5. She's averaging 9 on the season. Once again, that's in 30 minutes, though. So if we do it for rebounds, which I am interested in, let's do Rebs real quick. The line is 8.5. The over is plus 112. The under is minus 145. This is 100% much more likely to go under. Is minus 145 is the under odds. Her minutes average stays the same. Her prop average is 9.1 basically. I'll even give her the benefit of that doubt. 9.1. So then we look at the projected minutes. We leave them at 28, and the book under probability at minus 145 is very high. It's a 59% chance of that happening is what it's saying, as opposed to the over, which it's saying the probability of that happening is 47% likely. So 47% means that the edge is neither way. In fact, it's a little bit to the over for the rebounds. That's what I was thinking too. It is halfway there for us to even consider playing this bet at 5.25%. And that's strictly for the odds, right? So just a quick understanding of what I mean here. The over odds are plus 112. The implied probability in terms of a percentage that this happens is 47%, meaning it's 53% likelier that it doesn't happen, right? Minus 145 is the under odds. So with the juice that you get back for each bet, it's actually saying you should play the over before you play the under, because at minus 145, you're not getting any bang for your buck, right? That's what this is saying. So if you have any questions about this, hit me on the side. This is all in the free Discord, but I would not be making very many, if any, bets before running it through this. I wouldn't make a single bet before running it through this, right? And so that's part of the reason that these are also leans and not full bets. I need to run shit through this, but let's keep it moving. So Jonquel is a stay away from me. If you're going to lean either way for her, it's over on the rebounds for JJ. For her sister from another Mista in terms of Bree Jones. They're not related. I can't stress that enough. I'm just making a joke because their last name is Jones. It's not even a good fucking joke. It's stupid. All right, let's look at Bree because we're talking about her playing the Lynx who suck down low. Let's see right quick. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I'll get to some of these. I see you, Edwin, on the Jordan Canada. I see you. I think we had one more. Nate never comes on with me, bro, and he doesn't do the W either. That's my partner in crime on the lines.com. Dolson, I'm glad you brought her up. We're going to talk about her in a minute with the Mystic squad. Dolson, you couldn't give me money to spend on her rebounds anymore. This lady, I cannot tell you how much money I've lost trying to be smart about shit and be like, well, she's got to get boards. I mean, even let me get to that in a minute. All right, let me finish. Let me get to Bree, and we can get to Stephanie for sure. I got her on here, so we'll make sure we get to her. And by the way, if you are just jumping in, a lot of people got in a little bit. Go ahead and check out the bottom line. That is where you'll get all the leans that we've already got here. So keep that in mind. Dr. Mario likes Bree Jones. We're gonna look at that real quick too. I just want to say I appreciate it, Edwin. If you need the access to that, the link is in the free Discord. Link of that should be in the description of the video. If it's not there, it's everywhere. But hit me if you need it. Either way, Bree Jones. So we got free here. We're talking about free because it's 22.5 PR. Let's look at it. Let's start with the PR in general. So points and rebounds, looking at how the Lynx D up against centers. Not good, right? I mean, Alana Smith is a really good defender down low, but she's also undersized against players like Bree Jones. And there is really nobody else that I trust, and I think anybody trusts on the Lynx to go ahead and be able to hang with Bree Jones. So in her last 10, I mean, in her last 7, she's popping off. So she's talking about the Storm, the Aces, the Sparks, doo-doo, Mercury, doo-doo, and the Aces again. So, I mean, they've needed her. They've been needing to win, and they have been, right? They won everyone. They did lose that one game to the Storm and the Aces, handled the Sparks, beat the Mercury, and then lost the Aces again. Yeah, they can't beat the Aces, bro. The Sun are not going to be able to beat the Aces or the Liberty in the playoffs, honestly, like with that amount of with the lack of shooting that they have, it's not good. But either way, for Bree, let's look at what we can find here that might help us out. Let me get to props madness real quick and get into some of the matchup stuff with her and see where she's at with these minutes too. So for Bree, for the minutes as of late, let's actually just do it on, Outliers, easier for the minutes. So in these last 7 where she's been dominating, she has been playing some teams that are bad in terms of defending the paint other than the Aces, because the Sparks are terrible. The Storm are bad at defending the paint, and so are the Mercury, right? The minutes have been there, that's for sure. But if we look at teams that are in the top 10 opponent points in the paint rank, so let's go to the top 4, right? So when she gets to get up against these teams that are in the top 4 and defending the paint, she has some trouble. This is going to say the Lynx. I think this is wrong, though. The Lynx are not the second best paint defense in the league. And I believe that's what they're listed at here. She has gone over against this Lynx squad. I know that's what some people are going to be looking at if we look at the head-to-head stuff. 1 game, that's right, yeah. Is this the whole season? Okay, so on the season, when she plays teams that are in the top 4 defending the paint, she is under her points prop in 8 of 10, right? When she's going up, even if we make this, let's say, top 5 defending the paint. So yeah, actually she's good against the Aces. Let's look at the minutes real quick. 28, 28, 22, 26, 29. Whereas on the season, how many minutes did I say she was averaging on the season? Let's go back up to 2024 as a whole. 27.4. So that actually makes sense. That's another reason I hate betting Bree, man. I really do. I hate to say it. The rebounding would probably be the stronger. I mean, probably it would be. What's interesting is she hasn't been doing it head to head. So all these numbers conflict. She should be better at rebounding than she should be at scoring against this squad. Yet she hasn't gotten the revs, and she has gotten the points once out of 2 games. So she's not as much of a lock for me when you look at her versus teams that are good at stopping what she wants to do. And what she wants to do is post up and get putbacks, obviously, and then relies on free throws. This is a team that doesn't give up free throws. The Lynx, they don't really foul. If you look at her 2 games, how many free throws did she have against this team? She had 3 and 2, right? Whereas on the season, Bree Jones is averaging. Sorry, I'm just back in outlier.bet. On the season, she's averaging 3.6 free throw attempts, and she's at about 2.5 against this squad, as we saw. Not enough to make me feel good about it. I'm not saying this bet is completely unreasonable. But look, on the season, she's averaging 19 points and rebounds per game in those 27 minutes. I know they want to win, but this is a game too where I think it's going to be choppier. I like the under before I would bet an over on this game. So you got to keep that in mind with the points. That's why I know that the math head to head might not look good. Honestly, even on the season, it doesn't look good, bro. 5.5 assists per game. She's only gone over this number in 12 of 38. These are super duper dumb high. I hate that. Yeah, I really don't like that for Bree. At home, you see some insights right here. At home, she's failed to exceed this number. Hold up, let me put this down. You don't forget the insight stuff, but I'll just bring up the insights on the side here. You can see, let's get to Brianna. Where are you at, Bree? Brianna Jones. This is first half stuff. But she has not gone over what she needs. Okay. Yeah, for bottom teams, we can look at that real quick. Teams that are in the bottom of rebounding, that's another way to filter this. If you look at opponents' rebound allowed rank, what are they? They are 9th. Yeah, so if we put this on the season, Bree Jones against teams that are in the bottom 4 for rebounding, now she does get the points because she gets them off of putbacks. That's a really good point. One of those unders is the Lynx, and I hate that because that really does just she was 3 for 8. I mean, even if she goes 4 for 8, she's still not getting close to this shit, right? How many rebounds did she have in that game? She's actually better at scoring against these teams that suck at rebounding, to be honest. That's an interesting stat right here. So if you look at her on the season versus the bottom 4 teams in rebounding, she's over in 10 of 12, averaging 17 a game. It's a pretty good number. Let's do this for points and rebounds, though. Points and rebounds, 9 of 12. Averaging 23.8 a game. Once again, though, I'm just going to play the number real quick for Bree Jones. So we got Bree Jones in here. The rebound, this is what we put this on, because once again, this is what I was just looking at You said points and rebounds, right? So let me ride with Dr. Mario talking about points and rebounds at least. All right, so points and rebounds on the season are at 19.6. Tonight's line is 21.5. It's minus 120 to the over, minus 110 to the under. So we got some implied odds potentially working in our favor. Let me throw that in here real quick. So let's do PR for Bree, 21.5. The under is minus 110. The over is minus 120. This is in 27.4 minutes. She's averaging 19.6 on the season. How do you like this memory right now, y'all? Let's go. Projected minutes tonight. I don't know why you would project more minutes for her than she's had against this squad. Let's go to head-to-head. She played 26 and 27 minutes. I think you put her right at her season average for what she's going to play in terms of minutes. So 27 minutes projected. The book under probability at minus 110. I should know that by heart, is 52%. Move this over here too. 52% to the under implied probability, to the over at minus 120. It's a 54. We'll call it 55% because we'll round up. So it still might give us a little bit of an edge. Yeah, see, the edge is still not to the over. Even with the odds, the implied probability as high as it is, with the minutes projection, with the way that she's been playing, this is not a bet. This is actually telling us if you want to play anything here, you play her under. And I agree. I do. I think if I play anything for Bree Jones here, it's going to be an under. And yeah, that's pretty annoying. My bad. I'm not trying to shit all over what you're saying either. Daft coming in here, already stirring shit up. And JK says he's been watching some Brianna Jones highlights. Yeah, LOL indeed, bro. I mean, it's a Tuesday during the no NBA season. Like, don't even feel bad about it. Seattle and LV, she's a legit paint threat, and Minnesota's ranked 6th in points allowed and restricted area. It's true. All true. And once again, I'm not trying to shit on your thing. I mean, I got to look at it, but still appreciate you bringing the look. And I wanted to look at the Jones sisters, but I can't get next to it. So I'm out on the Bree Jones play as far as an over, and I would lean to the under. Let me get to, let's see. Did Daft say the same shit about Bree Jones? That's hilarious. Yeah. Okay, cool. It's the minutes that aren't going to be there for her. I didn't watch your video, Daft. That's my bad, but I'm going to take a look at it. All right, I'm going to keep moving and stay focused because I've only got like 15 minutes. I want to get through a bunch more of these. So I won't take as much time. So let me update the up next. I'm going to take Alyssa out of here. I know there were some looks at the Chelsea Gray stuff. I've been on a no Chelsea Gray / Jackie Young diet for a minute now, to be honest with you. So keep that in mind, that I might not be the best help there. But let me get to Dolson, and we can all just commiserate together about how much she's annoying as hell. Damn, that's a good look though, Freesaw. Like, if you've been hitting her in the last like 4 games, that's when she's been hot. This might be a fade recent results kind of situation to the point that you're making there about taking an under with her. So I like where your head's at. Let me get to everybody's least favorite center in the W. I mean, Stephanie Dolson's a really nice person, it seems like, but betting on her overs is a pain in the mother-loving ass. If you look at her on the saison, it's tough because without Shakira Austin doesn't matter because she had Aaliyah Edwards in there the whole time. So I take Shakira Austin out. Still at about a 50% hit rate on these points, right? And the thing is, when she goes over, hell yeah, she goes over because she made hella threes. When she goes under, poo-poo Dolson. So the Shakira Austin stuff doesn't really help us. With Shakira Austin, let's see. I mean, it's going to be worse for sure, but it's not that big a deal. It's a 33% hit rate versus like 50. So without her, she's much better, but it's really mostly about without Aaliyah Edwards, because that's what this is what you would bank it on. Points, everything goes up here. I have it down as well. I just read the notes so I don't got to make you guys wait for me to go click through stuff. But if you look at Dolson without Edwards, you look at these shot attempts right here. So she shot the ball 9 times, 11 times, 13 times. So this is an average of 11 so far, and 7 times. So she's at about 10.5 shots per game without Aaliyah Edwards in there, right? Which is what we care about because it's been 4 games without her. The thing that sucks too is she went up against the duty Dallas down low defense and just defense from everywhere. But we all know homegirl's not making her shots from anywhere but deep, right? 6 of her 13 were from deep. 5 of her 9 are from deep. 7 of her 11 are from deep. It really comes down to, is she going to make threes? And that's really it. If Stephanie Dolson make threes, Stephanie Dolson get points. when Stephanie Dolson no make threes, you get it. So, and in fact, I don't even think you can get her threes prop anywhere except for on Betano. And if you're not living in motherfucking Portugal, you don't have Betano. So the defense up top for this squad, fifth best for the Liberty, but the Liberty are so nice that like I don't really care what any of this says. They've been a top 3 defensive team in the league for the better part of a month and a half, 2 months. They've been the best offensive team in the league for the entire season. This team is nice. They can clinch the 1 seed with a victory. I still lean heavily on I don't lean heavily. I lean to the +10 for the Mystics, to be honest with you. I think they can catch them by surprise. I think if you're on the first half Mystic bet, that's a good look, but I'm staying away from Dolson. I mean, Daff knows this is one of my favorites, but like I can't get next to it. The rebounds are going to try to fool you too, even if you do it without Aaliyah Edwards. Look at those boards right there. Like now this is against the Wings, who have one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the league. And the Dream, fine. This was just a couple games ago. I've missed on all of this though. Every time I try to hit Dolson on the rebounds, I miss, and I just can't get next to betting it anymore. I'm be honest with you. On the season, she's at 5.1. You need to get 6 now against the Liberty, who have been a top 2-3 rebounding team in the league for the last like couple. The couple games or so, a couple months. So can't really get next to it. Dr. Mario's asked about the plays, all the leans that I'm going to take one more look at before we get off, after I get off of here and put those in the VIP. Those are all going to be scrolling on the bottom line. Plus we got those pinned in the comments of the video. That's where everything's going to be as soon as we're done. So the leans are on the bottom line rolling across right now. You can see DT is Diana Taurasi, over 3.5 assists, over 2.5 threes made. I haven't pulled the trigger on that one yet because I can't guarantee she's going to get the minutes. Tina Charles, over 27.5 PR. I'm almost definitely going to play that. Alyssa Thomas, I can't get away from. Those will be my 3 favorites right now that I'm looking at. Let me keep going. I want to make sure I get a couple more in here for y'all before we got to dip. Let's look at the Chelsea Gray and Jackie play right here. I'm a little bit afraid of NECA versus the Aces want to win this game. There's no doubt. They could catch the Sun, I believe, and the Sun are playing a much more difficult game than they are because Jewel Lloyd and who am I forgetting? Ezzy McBeggar are both out for the Storm tonight. So that's a huge deal. Let's look at these dimes though. And what's interesting is that the Storm are good at limiting assists, I believe. If we look at opponent assists allowed rank, the Storm rank, where are they at? Assists allowed 4th. So 4th best at limiting assists on the season. If you pull that up over here, damn, this cough will go away. If I'm looking at, I already forgot, my bad, y'all. If I'm looking at Chelsea Gray going up against the Storm in terms of the dimes, pull that up. Assists allowed versus guards. Okay, they're actually worse versus guards. They just don't give up stuff to the center and the forward. So Chelsea Gray would be a better look for the assist just off of that number than would Jackie, who's a little bit more of the tweener, right? But if we look at head-to-head versus this squad, I'm sure not surprised this is coming up. So in those games, let me see if she was missing anybody. This is one of the better parts of Props Madness. Players missing in this game. Gustafson was missing, and that's about it. But Megan Gustafson's not going to take away from her dimes. So she did go over twice. This is a high number on the season. You can see she's at 5. So you got to pay. You got to earn that juice and really bank it on if you think that this matchup is really good for her. I could see that. I really wish we had potential assists in the W, but they don't have the cameras on the floor the way they do out here. So what would help us here? I'm really not sure how to break this down when you consider that there's not going to be any Jewel Lloyd, who is just taking up so much. No, street cred, you know, we're not betting on Dolson rebounds. If I did, you would give me too much shit, so I can't do it. Okay, I see you here. If you do see, so that's the Goblin. You usually lose a lot of juice, like you lose the value a lot of times with the Goblin. So, the Goblin, not the Demon. So just be careful of that. The Demons are usually going to be EV wise, the expected value wise, the Demons are going to be better than the Goblins. So why do we think she got all these dimes? Especially she had she had 7 dimes in 15.5 minutes in this game. And she only played 15 and a half minutes. This is back in June. I wonder if she got hurt in that game, but wow, that is insanity. So let's do this. Chelsea Gray, what's her minutes been at lately? 25, 30, 29, 30, 27, 29. What's she at on the season when she actually plays? Now, you have to keep in mind, she came back from injury. So, right. So, like, there was some minutes that she just lost. She ramping back up over here, right? She still ramped up her minutes. Then we get to about, okay, she plays 33.8 right here. So 25.8 is probably reasonably fair. But I think we might be able to project her a little bit higher at like 28 to 29 for real. Let's do the last 10. What's she been playing? How many minutes she been playing in the last 10? The minutes are at 27 in the last 10. Okay. Let's do 27 and let's put it in real quick. I want to see what we've got for her. So the over 4.5. Okay, so is that underdog? No, you can get DK over 4.5 minus 130. Let's put them both in real quick. So let's do Chelsea. Let's do Gray. Assists. This is at 4.5. The over odds are minus 130. The under odds are plus 110. The over odds are 110. Come on, dog. Figure it out. Okay. Wow, I am struggling. 10. The over odds are 110. All right. The prop average on the season and the minutes average, sorry, we'll go 25.6 was her minutes average on the season. Her prop average on the season is, we're at 2024. Prop average, where's the assist at? 4.88, right? All right. 4.88. Let's do 4.9. Projected minutes. Let's give her the 27. Yeah, it was already at 27. And see what that does. So the book under probability at minus, is it minus 110 and plus 110? No, it's minus 130. Come on, fam. Do better. Over odds are minus 130. No, the under odds are plus 110. Bro. All right. The book probability under is going to be, let's see, I always forget minus 110. Come on, dude. 52.38%. Got to remember that. That's not that hard. 52% to the, it's because it's plus 110. I'm going to figure it out, I promise. The minus 130 is the over. That is an applied probability of 57% because we're going to round up. The over is 57%. The under is plus 110. That's going to give us an applied probability of 47. We're going to round it up to 48. All right, 48%. The edge is slightly to the over, but it's still saying that with what she's done, it's still not a 10% edge, which, as I've mentioned, is what I need to get the over on a bet, right? So that is a problem for sure. Now, we have hit 330, but we got a bunch more new people in here bringing stuff up, so we got to check it out. I lean to the under, my G. So if you're looking at that stuff for Bree Jones, I was leaning to the under. I like the under for her PR the most. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So yeah, another good point is the potential blowout. I do think the aces, I played them at minus 6.5, but just keep that in mind. I know Free Sauce was on this look, really good look from one of the VIPs in the Discord, under 77.5 team total for the Storm. I think that's a look as well. It just depends if it gets so out of hand that the Aces don't even care about playing defense. Aces defense has gotten much better. Their rebounding is terrible, which is weird. They are the worst rebounding team in the league since we come back from the Olympic break. Keep that in mind about the Aces. Doesn't matter versus this squad. They're not going to be getting offensive rebounds. Probably they're not really going to be doing quite as much damage on the boards for the Storm, but keep that in mind. All right. So Chelsea Gray, it looks like a stay away for me, to be honest. I want to put this at 5.5 though, and see what was the odds for over 5.5 plus 128. I still don't think that's going to give us the number because she's got to get to 6, which she has done. This is in 2024. She's gotten 6, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So she's done this 10 out of 26 times. Still at plus 128. It's not going to be an edge, right? Like I said. So I'm out on that. Let's look at Jackie though, because that was brought up too. Superstar Jackie Young. And let's look at her dimes as well. Asts for Jack. I don't know why I call her that. I'm sorry. 5.4 on the season, and she's at 4.5 minus 104. I like where we're at here. Now, obviously, forwards, they're a lot better at limiting assists to forwards than they are guards. Let's look at head to head this season. Under in 2 of them. Did she have Chelsea Gray in those games? So let me actually pull her up over here because you can see specifically head to head. Oh, wow. Jackie was doing her scoring against the Storm this season. Sheesh. Wow. What do we attribute that to? As the pick and roll ball handler, she's mostly scoring off of that. Wow. Was she just wetting threes? Not even. 2 for 6, 1 for 6. Got to the free throw line a total of 15 times in those games. Not missing anybody. Was she just pure going off? She took 19 shots. How many shots does Jackie shoot on the season? On average, Jackie takes 15.6, and she was taking 19 against this team. That's interesting. Points are going to grab your attention. The assist she didn't get here versus this squad, and this was with Chelsea Gray, except for this one. And we're on the dimes. Interesting. So with Chelsea, she actually had a couple more. Man, there doesn't seem to be much here for me, man. But I think if you play the straight number, then you might be onto something. So let's look at Jackie Young assists 2024, 5.31. Now, is there a difference with and without Jackie? Let's see. Games with Jackie Young, her assists per game are 5.31. So she's still there over half the time that she's playing with Chelsea Gray, right? She has 36 games with Chelsea Gray this season. Oh, no, that's with herself because my microphone was in the way. All right. With Chelsea Gray, it goes down a bit. 4.84 does not get us to the 5, right? That's her average, under an 11 of 20, or only over an 11 of 25. Without Chelsea Gray, we're talking 6.36. That's a big mother loving difference, right? So I don't have anything there, to be honest with you, with Jackie for the dimes. I think if you're going to play an over on either of these players, you're still playing over 4.5 for Chelsea Gray. If we put this at 4.5, the number is saying you play the over. It's at least leaning more to the over. It's not enough of an edge for me to play the Chelsea Gray assists, but I think Chelsea Gray 5+ assists. I think you can get that on Prize Picks as well as 5+ assists, and you get that you'll get a much better number for the odds on Prize Picks. That's the only place that I would probably play Chelsea Gray assists 5+, because minus 130 ain't really going to get it. All right, cool. No, we're not talking about Bree Jones anymore. Let's see. The Jackie Young was one of the last ones. Yeah, I love Alyssa Thomas, everything against this squad, bro. So whatever you want to do for Alyssa Thomas, I think the points at plus money are great because the shot attempts go up so much for her. 4 more shot attempts for Alyssa Thomas versus the Lynx on the season than her season average. So that's a big, that would be the edge for Alyssa Thomas. I like that a lot. And that one is like almost strictly matchup based. I got to be honest with you. The thing about the last couple of things here, NECA, I'm not sure. I do think Asia Wilson's going to get a ton of boards. Ooh, interesting. Yesterday was Jackie Young's birthday. I'm always here for a birthday angle for sure. Let's get. I'm going to finish with Jackie Young assists points, because I feel a little bit more comfortable with that than anything else. So Jackie Young points, obviously averaging the 20.7. Failed to do it without Chelsea Gray. What's her points with and without Chelsea this season? Let's see what that's at. So with Chelsea, we're talking about, make sure you got all 40 games here. With Chelsea on the season, her points are at 14.8. So actually a little bit lower. Is Jackie Young's points at 12.5? Am I just now realizing that? Wow. Poor work by me to not even notice that. 12.5 points, eh? Let's take a look at why this shit's so low. I guess she has not been shooting quite as much in these last 10 games. Still over in 7 of her last 10. And this is under. My bad. Let me get back to the over. Over 12.5 in her last 10, under in 7 of 10. So she's buttoned up against it. She's been shooting not even 10 shots a game. That's not great for her to get the 13 points. Not really getting to the free throw line. 31 minutes. So that's the last 10. On the season, it's so much better. Wow. All the green is at the beginning of the season because she was still going off. That all the usage went down. So on the season, she's at 12.7 attempts. In these last couple of games, she's been taking 10 shots. That's 3 less. I don't have much for you, dog. If we look at the points, it still seems low, doesn't it? Am I tripping? Yeah, she just has been broken. Yeah, and they want to get Asia the 1,000 points. Stat padding hose. Maybe. What's good, Yoshua? Good to have you in here, bro. Yeah, I think Asia's still the play. How high is her stuff? Damn, Jackie. That's frustrating. But she's still buttoned up against 12. To be honest with you. Why wouldn't this be a get right game for her? Do we fave recent results here? I think I might be on Jackie. Yeah, I think I got to play the Jackie. Yeah, I think this is a buy low. No Ezzy and Lloyd. Yeah, I know. I think I got to play the number. I mean, I guarantee you, no context given, this is going to tell you that Jackie Young should be a bet tonight. Young points, 12.5. Over odds are -113. Under odds are -115. Over odds minus. How do I forget the minute that I say it? Over odds -113. Under odds -115. All right, -115, -113. Minutes average on the season is at 32.7. Minutes average in this last 10, still at 31. So I'll still give her the 32.7. Don't come at me with that. 32.7 minutes average. 32.7 prop average. What's she got? Like 15 a game? My bad. Getting back to outlier. On the season, points per game, 15.75. So we'll say 15.8. Projected minutes tonight. I mean, why wouldn't it be 30 again? So this is right here, 29, 33, 30, 32. Yeah, she's still still giving her 32 minutes. We'll just say 32. 32 minutes. Probability to the over is very likely according to this. So the books odds here, -113 is going to be about 52%. Let me just make sure I'm right. -115, 53%, -113. Yeah, they're both 53%. So 53% both ways. 53. Edge is clearly to the over. 21.8%. I know she's been broken since then. She's taken fewer shots. It all makes sense. But like a 21% edge, still button up against 12. Engstler, if that's her, is that who you're talking about? Yeah, Engstler. Yo, she was like the 4th overall pick like 4 years ago and just got hurt. She's actually nice with it. Also, I said she was from like Latvia the other day. I'm completely wrong. She's from like Grand Rapids, Michigan. So just wanted to call that out, that I was wrong about that. Her name's Emily Engstler and she looks hella Norwegian. So I don't know, whatever. Anyway, 50. Yeah, the edge is clearly over. Like I'm putting Jackie Young in there. I'm sorry. Ooh, yeah, let's take a look at that. So similar players versus Storm. This is a good look by JK. This is one of the awesome looks as well. Similar players versus Storm. You can look at this on Props Madness through the lens of by position strictly, or the way that Props Madness has it is they base similar players on your play type, your preferences, where you shoot from, all that kind of stuff, more so than by position. So if you look at by Props Madness, what were you looking at, JK? Were you looking at Tiffany Hayes. I was wrong about that too. My bad. Engstler's on the what team is Engstler on? Is it the Mystics? My bad. Whatever. Daft, you should be on the show anyway, bro. Flaker. Just kidding. He didn't tell me he was ever going to be on it. The thing about Jackie. So we're looking at buy Props Madness. By position, it's not that enticing, but buy Props Madness, players that play like Jackie. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. For sure. I think just based on her history versus this team, the number, the implied odds, blah, 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 blah. I'm going over 12.5. -110 is the best number on 365. I can play that. I'm not sure if everybody else can. I'll put it at -113 on FanDuel since I know everybody got that. So I'm putting that here on the bottom line. Everything's in here on the bottom line is going to be in the pinned comments as well. Let me just update it right now. So it's official. We're taking Jay Young over 12.5 points. She's not going to let us down. She's one of the best players in the league. -113 FD, 1 Yuski. All right, so those are all up here on the bottom line. I'll put them up in here as well real quick, just because if you're in here, you deserve to see them all at once. Leans. Give me a sec. Not this one. Create a banner. All right, so here's what we got for the leans. These are all up, so take a look at all those. DT, I don't know. I don't know if she's going to get the minutes tonight. My lean is still the over for players that are going to get players are going to get minutes for the Mercury tonight. So keep that in mind. The other thing I just want to make sure everybody knew, all my picks officially right now, they're in the VIP Discord. The way you get that is wap.com /land-your-bets, blah, 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 blah. So just wanted you to know all that, because if you do want the official plays, we're up 20 units on the W season. Got my units back in the NFL to go up almost 3 on the season. And right now I am offering 25% off if you want to jump in for the next 20 people. I believe we have 2 that I've already gotten. So we're down to 18 users now to get the 25% off for 2 months. Doing some giveaways as well. I'm really pumped to talk about how I've got a pretty solid connect right now over at Fanatics. And as a result, I'm getting the hookup on some jerseys. I got a Vince Sanity USA jersey we're giving away, doing a giveaway for the Shaq Lakers jersey as well. And then I'm going to be getting some NFL jerseys up in here as well. I got some free video games too. I'm not sure if there's any gamers out there, but I got NBA 2K25 codes if we want those. And a few other codes for some other games. So I will be doing some giveaways with all that shit. Hell yeah. I thought it was kind of lame at first. I was like, nah, let's get the Yuski in there. Why are we not saying Yuski? But yeah, anyway, bro, appreciate all you guys. The only other thing I wanted to say, what's today? Tuesday. I've got the NFL show coming up as well. So if you want to check that out, highly recommend. Got the NFL shows on Fridays. I got my segment with Dieter Sunday mornings with Matt Modi, live stream NFL. So lots to come. If you're in the free Discord, I make sure that you guys know about all this stuff. Let's get some cash tonight. I'm going to be in the Discord right now in the VIP chat for a minute, throwing my plays up and making sure everybody has the write-ups. So best of luck tonight. I've got about 4 or 5 that I'm going to be dropping. So hope you all win your stuff. Talk to you guys soon. Until I see you then, happy betting.